of University of Georgia and Missouri, and a funny thing happened on the way to a 29-point of victory for Georgia. Uh, Missouri, the Tigers didn't get the message. Missouri came out firing tonight, and of course, Missouri now leading Georgia by a score of 16-6. And I'm telling you, Georgia just is. It started last week. To be honest with you, it started last week when Georgia was taking on Kent State. Georgia just didn't look like Georgia last week, and that is continuing tonight. Um, this is a Missouri team that lost to Auburn last week. Now Auburn is, I think, taking it to pretty well LSU tonight. So Auburn, maybe kind of getting their act halfway together. But what in the world's going on with the University of Georgia? Just everything out of kilter tonight. Everything out of sync tonight. And so it's one of those games. Now it's been one of those games and a half because Georgia, against Kent State, just was not Georgia like at all in how they were playing. And tonight, that's exactly the same thing that's happening with Georgia against Missouri. Now, it's only halftime. Georgia is the more talented team. And maybe everything will get settled down at halftime. I'm sure Kirby and the staff is trying to settle the Bulldogs down and say, look, guys, we need to get this thing together. We need to get it going. And so, I don't think you probably are hearing a bunch of raging going on in the locker room of the University of Georgia. I wouldn't think you would have that. I just think you would have the coaching staff trying to get the guys to settle down a little bit, get ready to play. So we thought we'd give you the opportunity to step in here. We're on Facebook and Instagram, getting a lot of comments on both of our platforms. And guys, please try to keep it a little clean now. Okay, we're a family show, and so we want to try to keep it a little clean. Offense and defense is off. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, that sentiment is being put out. Time to put Beck in at quarterback. Okay, Glenn, that's your opinion there, brother. Alan Clayton, this is pathetic. Um, there goes that first place ranking. We see that on Instagram. Too much jawing going on. Kirby is going light, and he needs to light him up. Okay, this is hurting my feelings, brother. Go Dogs. I'm with you, Grady. But look, before the fire Kirby, seriously. Now somebody's having too much fun, obviously. But this was the thing I was talking about before the game. These games give me the heebie-jeebies when you have the University of Georgia playing on the road in the SEC against a team that's motivated, like they're motivated, and their stadium crowd's going crazy. This is what I'm afraid of. They're going to get it together after halftime. My gut feeling is that Georgia will get it together, and they're going to have to work hard for this victory. And now let's try to keep it clean, clean, guys. Okay. We're getting outworked. I think that's true. I think what happened last week with Georgia is continuing this week. Georgia out of kilter offensively and defensively. I'm embarrassed. Haven't had the same energy since the Oregon game. We're losing on both sides of the ball. Yeah, a couple of things from Instagram. Alabama will beat Georgia, this version of Georgia. This is sad. Bring back Dan Lanning. That's a little out. Our O-line is horrible. Offensive rhythm and TDs are keeping our defense off the field. Kent State was a warning sign. Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well. Stetson is sailing every throw. He is kind of off tonight, off kilter. I don't know the halftime statistics, but statistically, it's not really good for Georgia. John Baker, go Dogs. Yeah, yeah. The Fergusons say Georgia looks like Alabama. Yeah, kind of, sorta. But Alabama got their act together, and they did, of course, win. John King, we're a second half team on Instagram. The flags aren't being called. A little disappointment with the officiating. And so, guys, hey, get in here and we'll hear what you have to say. Now, do try to keep it clean, okay? We're just like edge pressure on defense, not playing on both sides of the ball. I agree. Don't watch them. Okay. If you're embarrassed, don't watch them. Hey, I'm going to watch them. By the way, I'm watching the Braves too, and they're up 3-2. So this is a busy night for me. Stetson's overthrowing running backs in the flat, throwing behind everything. Yeah, Stetson's not sharp tonight like we have seen him sharp. Got to calm down. Second half, turn it up, go Dogs. I believe so. I think Georgia's going to get this thing together here in the second half. Have to make adjustments, be fine, have to keep our focus going. Line of scrimmage needs to be won back. I feel like I'm watching a high school football game. That's on Instagram, one of our guys on Instagram. 4-2 Braves now. Hey, go get them. O-line is struggling. Stetson missing his targets. Receivers dropping the balls. Defense looking soft. Yeah, this doesn't seem like the number one team in the country, not by any imagination. Don't seem focused offensively. Just settle down and play. I agree. Kirby wanted to be tested. Well, we're getting that test tonight. I guarantee you that. On Instagram, I know a lot of frustration in Dogland here, but it is just the first half, 16-6, and I got to start stopping them on. Yeah, we defense D line was bullied the second half of last game. Started to worry. Georgia's been pushed around. I hadn't seen this in years. Play calling seems off. Jalen Carter heard it on an illegal chop block, and that's true. That is true. So we're getting a lot of comments, guys, and listen. I feel your pain. I feel your frustration. Georgia's not playing. Plain and simple. Okay. Georgia's not playing up to the standard that we have expected Georgia to play. It's frustrating. I know. Defense really playing really good, all things considered. Okay. Okay. Can we put him back just to see what he can do? Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen, but we shall see. They'll be fine. We get some assurance here from some of our guys. One-dimensional, too one-dimensional on offense, according to Instagram. Just got to get a good second half together. There's always that one game. This has been a game and a half, to be honest with you. Let's see if Georgia pulls this out, get momentum going forward. Be games like this eventually. Yeah, I agree. Jim Lovell says this is just dumb. I agree. I agree with you, Jim. It is not what we expect. So Georgia and Missouri here at halftime. On Instagram, we're getting some at Bowers We Trust. I think we'll be good in the end. From some of our guys, I think we'll be good in the end too, to be honest with you. God bless our dogs. God bless and go Dogs. Amen. To that. Let's see. On Instagram, Bennett needs to get in rhythm. That's true. He seems to be out of rhythm. Georgia and Alabama seems kind of off. Yes. I'm sure Kirby will get them straightened out. That's what William Thompson says. O-line has to get a better run block and pass protect way better, much better on that. So if you have a comment, if you want to jump in here, we'll let you and we'll hear from you. Danny Pope Heisman talk was premature. Well, whatever's happening with Stetson Bennett tonight is not going to help any kind of Heisman Trophy talk unless he has a massive second half here. Stephen Gilbreth, they haven't looked the same since the South Carolina game. Yeah, that's true. Our offensive receivers need to catch the ball. Yes. Dogs, please come back. We got some praying going on. Got dogs, please come back. Aretha Montgomery, come back and win. We're so bad. We're so bad, according to some of the guys on Instagram. Just not playing well. So, what do you think? Here's my prediction, and we'll check it at the end of the game. But I think Georgia's going to come back. I think Georgia will win this game. I say 31-23. Georgia will win 31-23. Now, that's not the 29 points. Okay. All right. We get the sentiment. Do you think we'll come back and win? I do. I think Georgia will. I think Georgia will come back and win. And let's see. So some of you are really upset and not happy. Another thing is that Missouri playing dirty. They run that slant thing, and it's kind of like that offense that Georgia Tech ran. But it's a different kind of thing. But the blocking scheme is kind of the same. And so, when you have that, you get those kind of blocks that look dirty, and sometimes they actually are, or look like penalties. And Jalen Carter did get hurt on one of those blocks now, and it was not called. And I think the commentators on the SEC network said, well, it should have been called, and I think that's true as well. So look, guys, I know you're getting your Coca-Cola, and you're getting your snacks here at halftime, getting ready for the second half. So here's what Missouri gets the ball first. Now Georgia needs to stop Missouri. Don't need to have any more points put on the board for Missouri to get ahead of Georgia. Georgia needs to stop Missouri, and then Georgia, of course, needs to score touchdowns. No need to panic at the moment. I mean, if Georgia's still down with 3 minutes left to go, then let's panic. But let's just hang in there. So if you have a comment you'd like to share with us, we're getting some comments, and I understand it's a frustrating thing. But here's my prediction. Georgia will come back and win this game 31. Did I say 23? 31-23. 31-23. That's what Georgia's going to do. Favorite football team. My favorite football team is Georgia. I like the Falcons, which I'm a long-suffering Falcons fan. And there you go. How can we stream the game? Hulu? Is it Hulu? And actually, I have DirecTV, so I have no issues with watching the game. As long as we win, I'll be happy. I think Hulu TV, isn't it Hulu TV? Got to have a subscription for that. If you're on the Dish Network, I'm sorry. What in the world's going on with Dish and ESPN? You can't even, if you're a Braves fan, you can't watch the Braves on Dish Network. Now, a lot of you guys may not be Braves fans, but we seem to be overthrowing our receivers, and that's true. Stetson's just not sharp tonight as he has been. Let's go, dogs. Pick it up. Let's see. I hope you're right. I work with a lot of Gator fans. I feel your pain. And by the way, Florida plays tomorrow at noon. That'll be on that ESPN Plus thing if you happen to be a Gator fan. Dipping in. It'd be on that ESPN Plus thing. And anyway, Florida playing in Gainesville because of the hurricane. It was rescheduled for tomorrow at noon against Eastern Michigan. Shouldn't be much of a challenge. For the university. We're starting the wrong running backs. Okay. I understand. So if you have a comment, you can jump in here with us. Listen, we love our dogs. We love our dogs. And we have become so accustomed to Georgia just taking it to the other team. And it's a little frustrating. By the way, I mentioned it before the game started, and I should have never mentioned it. But the Georgia when this game started was the only FBS team that was not, that was not behind in a game. Georgia was the only FBS team that would fail behind in a game at the start of this game. Of course, that's gone by the wayside. Go Dogs! We will bounce back. I hope so. Third quarter will be critical. So guys, okay. Well, I get the sentiment. I get where we are. And listen, I will give you the opportunity to get your stuff and get ready for the second half here. Let's take a deep breath. Coach Smart will get the guys together. I'm sure we're going to be okay. I'm sure we're going to be okay. And let's hope that the Dogs can get it together, come back and win this game. As Daniel says, we will bounce back. I hope so. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us here at halftime. Join us again at the end of the game, because at the end of the game, we'll be celebrating a Georgia victory. 31, what did I say? 31-23. 31-23. So join what? We got one more. Jarvis says we're living off of last year. It's a new season. Okay. Adam says we will be fine. Okay. All right. I believe we'll be fine. Well, okay, guys, we're going to get out of here. Get ready for the second half. Go Dogs. Let's get this victory. All right. Thank you for joining us, guys. We'll be back at the end.